Imagine a world where Queen Elizabeth I, the iconic Virgin Queen, wasn't so virgin. What if she had taken a husband? Would England's golden age have turned into something entirely different? Picture shifting alliances, religious chaos, a new heir to the throne, and the potential end of the legendary Tudor dynasty. The very idea of Shakespeare's masterpieces, the Armada victory, and England's future might look drastically different. Welcome back to Infinitia Verity, where we explore the deepest mysteries and most intriguing what-ifs of history. I'm your host, and today we're venturing into the world of the Tudor court and the reign of one of history's most remarkable monarchs, Queen Elizabeth I. Let's take a closer look at what might have happened if the Virgin Queen had decided to marry. The religious consequences. Elizabeth I's decision to remain unmarried was no accident. As a ruler facing a deeply divided nation, she understood that marrying would have far-reaching implications, especially on the religious front. During her reign, Protestantism was solidifying its roots in England, with Catholic Europe watching closely. Had Elizabeth married a Catholic prince, it might have led to a rekindling of Catholic influence, reversing the Reformation in England. This could have sparked unrest among her Protestant subjects, possibly resulting in uprisings and further religious conflict. On the other hand, marrying a Protestant prince might have provoked Catholic powers like Spain and France into a more aggressive stance against England. This fragile religious balance was one of Elizabeth's greatest challenges, and by choosing to remain unmarried, she navigated England through these treacherous waters, preserving its Protestant identity while avoiding direct confrontation with Catholic Europe. This delicate maneuvering is often seen as a masterstroke of Elizabeth's reign. By staying single, she prevented any potential foreign influence that a marriage might have brought. In doing so, she maintained her country's sovereignty and religious path, a choice that shaped the religious landscape of England for centuries. The marriage candidates, who were they? When we think of Elizabeth's potential suitors, names like Robert Dudley, King Philip II of Spain, and even the Duke of Anjou come to mind. Each match would have carried different consequences. Marrying Dudley, an English noble, could have consolidated power internally but might have divided the court, given the controversies surrounding Dudley's family. Marrying a foreign prince like Philip II of Spain or the Duke of Anjou could have forged alliances but also risked turning England into a battleground of European politics. By refusing these offers, Elizabeth sent a clear message. England would not be a pawn in continental power struggles. Her marriage status became a tool of diplomacy. The possibility of her marriage was dangled before various courts across Europe, keeping them hopeful, guessing, and most importantly, negotiating. This gave Elizabeth a unique diplomatic edge, one that would have vanished had she tied the knot. The political chessboard, England's safety net. In the high-stakes political environment of 16th-century Europe, marriage alliances were critical. If Elizabeth had married a foreign prince, England might have been drawn into continental wars and alliances that were not necessarily in its best interest. For example, a marriage to a French or Spanish noble could have embroiled England in the Franco-Spanish conflicts of the time, compromising the country's security and resources. Remaining unmarried allowed Elizabeth to maintain England's political independence. She skillfully played potential suitors against each other, ensuring that no single foreign power could dominate English affairs. This tactic not only preserved England's sovereignty but also allowed it to grow in power, paving the way for the eventual defeat of the Spanish Armada and England's emergence as a dominant sea power. Dynastic stability, the heir question. One of the most critical aspects of Elizabeth's reign was the question of succession. The lack of an heir created uncertainty and potential for civil war. Had she married and produced an heir, the Tudor dynasty might have continued, possibly preventing the subsequent rise of the Stuart line. This heir could have provided stability, or, conversely, could have sparked factional strife depending on their upbringing and alliances. Consider the tension that existed during Elizabeth's lifetime over the question of Mary, Queen of Scots, a Catholic claimant to the English throne. If Elizabeth had married, Mary's claim might have been weakened, altering the dynamics of succession and preventing the events that led to Mary's eventual execution. However, this could have also complicated England's political relationships with its neighbors, as Elizabeth's child would have been the focal point of dynastic claims and European intrigue. Gender and power, the Virgin Queen's unique authority. Elizabeth I's unmarried status made her reign unprecedented. During an era when female rulers were expected to marry and rule alongside their husbands, she defied norms. By remaining single, Elizabeth asserted her authority and demonstrated that she could govern as effectively as any king. Her decision to stay unmarried was not just a personal one, but also a statement about female sovereignty. Had she married, the balance of power might have shifted. Her husband, depending on his status and ambition, might have attempted to take control of political matters, potentially diminishing Elizabeth's authority. This was a real concern. After all, Queen Mary I's marriage to Philip II of Spain had significantly influenced English policy. By remaining unmarried, Elizabeth established herself as the ultimate ruler of England, a status that allowed her to implement policies and make decisions that defined her era. The mythos of the Virgin Queen. Elizabeth's reputation as the Virgin Queen became part of the national identity. This symbolism elevated her rule beyond that of a mere monarch. She was seen as almost a mythical figure embodying the spirit of England itself. Had she married, this image would have been shattered, and her rule might have been defined by her husband's influence rather than her own. Her mythos contributed significantly to the unity and pride that characterized the Elizabethan age. Her unmarried status allowed her to be perceived as the pure, untouchable sovereign whose only loyalty was to her country. This crafted image played a key role in rallying the nation, particularly during times of crisis, such as the threat posed by the Spanish Armada. Her legacy, as it is known today, was a masterful balancing act of diplomacy, power, and personal sacrifice. Elizabeth's rule without a husband allowed her to forge a unique path for England. She capitalized on her single status to create a mythos around herself, becoming the Virgin Queen, a figure almost divine in the eyes of her subjects. This persona not only reinforced her authority but also made her the embodiment of the English state itself. By staying unmarried, Elizabeth fashioned herself as the bride of England, asserting that her only marriage was to the realm she ruled. This symbolism resonated deeply with her people, uniting them under a monarch who chose England's welfare above personal desires. The cultural renaissance would it have happened? Elizabeth's unmarried status also gave her the freedom to patronize the arts without the need to adhere strictly to a husband's interests or agendas. During her reign, the English Renaissance reached its zenith, with William Shakespeare, Christopher Marlowe, and Edmund Spenser producing some of their greatest works. Elizabeth's court became a hub of artistic and cultural activity, fostering a spirit of creativity and innovation that would leave an indelible mark on English literature and drama. Shifting the course of history. Elizabeth's decision to remain single set the stage for the Stuart era and the eventual formation of the United Kingdom. Without an heir of her own, the crown passed to James VI of Scotland, uniting the crowns of England and Scotland in 1603. This union eventually led to the formation of Great Britain and the rise of the British Empire. The enduring mystery of Elizabeth's choice. The reasons behind Elizabeth's decision to remain single are multifaceted. While political strategy played a key role, there were also personal factors at work. Elizabeth witnessed the disastrous consequences of her father Henry VIII's 6 marriages and the political chaos that followed. Her mother, Anne Boleyn, was executed, and her sister Mary's marriage to Philip II of Spain led to unrest and foreign influence in English affairs. These experiences likely shaped Elizabeth's views on marriage, making her wary of the pitfalls it could bring. Conclusion. Revisiting the what if so, what if Queen Elizabeth I had married? This single choice could have altered England's religious dynamics, political alliances, cultural legacy, and succession. It might have prevented some conflicts but ignited others. While her marriage could have brought temporary stability through an heir, it could also have plunged England into new realms of uncertainty and strife. Her choice to remain single allowed her to maneuver diplomatically, create a powerful national identity, and foster a cultural renaissance. In the end, the legacy of Queen Elizabeth I was shaped by her independence. Her reign is a testament to the power of personal choice and the profound impact it can have on history. By opting not to marry, Elizabeth I not only defined her own life but also set the stage for England's transformation into a global power. Her life, decisions, and reign continue to fascinate us, posing questions about leadership, gender roles, and the intricate dance of politics. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the alternate history of Queen Elizabeth I, don't forget to hit that like button and share your thoughts in the comments.